Hi, everybody. Welcome to our second installment of Joyful News. I'm your host, Krista Avampado. So happy to be back here with you again. I spend a lot of time over the 2 weeks between episodes looking for joyful news stories from around the world, and I want to bring you some of my favorites that are just bringing me joy. I think we could all use some more joy in our lives, and so I'm hoping that these mini episodes that I release, in addition to the interview episodes, will just put some more joy in your ears, and hopefully you'll be on the lookout for more joy as you go about your days as well. If you find any joyful stories that you want me to share, please tell me about them. Contact me on Twitter at KristaNYC, Instagram, KristaRoseNYC, or you can contact me through my website, KristaAvampado.com, and let me know what joyful stories you're hearing. I'd love to share them, and I'd love to give you credit for telling me all about them. So this week, I've got some really great stories for you that I'm super excited about. I started recording these joyful news episodes because of the Drew Barrymore show. I am a huge Drew fan. I have been watching her show since it started last September of 2020, and I have always just been a huge fan of hers. And on the show, she has a segment with Ross Matthews called Drew's News, and it is the bright spot, sunshiny place in my life every day. It is for millions of viewers every single day, and I wanted to do something similar to that because she's brought me so much joy through those segments. I wanted to bring you that same kind of joy through these segments. A couple weeks ago, her and Ross were talking about this fantastic cafe in Tokyo, and it's called Tokyo's Manuscript Writing Cafe. Here's the deal. Customers who are writers can't leave the cafe until they have met their self-determined deadline for the work that they wanted to do while they were there. How amazing is that? So if you are in Tokyo and you are a writer and you have any kind of procrastination, you're having trouble getting your work done, this cafe is for somebody like you. If I ever start a cafe here in New York City, this is exactly what I'm starting. Fantastic. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Ross. I am very excited to learn about this Tokyo cafe. Next thing I want to tell you about, do you hate food waste as much as I do? I cannot stand it. This month, I've been enrolled in a program called Zero Waste Academy, and I'm very passionate about sustainability, and I'm always excited to meet other people who love to talk trash. As in, how do we produce less of it? And how do we upcycle the trash that we have? We just had a session on food waste, and goodness, did I learn a lot. Did you know that New Yorkers generate 3.9 million tons of food waste every year? I mean, I knew it was high, but I didn't know it was that high. A third of the trash that New Yorkers put in landfills is food. I downloaded this awesome app called Too Good to Go that is available in New York and all over the place. Restaurants, cafes, food shops, and grocery stores sign up to sell surprise bags that have surplus items that they'd throw out if they didn't sell them. The food is perfectly good, but they've got too much of it to sell before it goes bad. This app is a great economic deal for users because the contents in the surprise bag are sold at a deep discount. I got $15 worth of groceries for $5 at a store that's 3 blocks from my apartment. The app is totally free to use. It eliminates food waste, it protects the environment, and you get a tasty surprise in a bag. Bring your own bag, and you're doing even more good. App is called Too Good to Go. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. Next story, Apple TV Plus. I don't know about you, but I am subscribed to so many streaming channels. I've got so much content, I will never be able to watch all of it. Not by a long shot. But Apple TV Plus has been a service that there's a lot of content on there I want to watch, but I've got so many streaming services, I felt guilty signing up for another one. Well, as a Sprint customer, I didn't have to worry about that. T-Mobile bought Sprint, and last week I got an email from T-Mobile, and they are giving me a free year of Apple TV Plus. So I signed up, started binging so much content that I had been wanting to watch. Saw the movie Coda, which was amazing, the behind the scenes documentary about the Broadway show Spring Awakening, an animated series called Central Park, Ted Lasso, The Oprah Conversation, Earth at Night, Wolf Walkers, Pachinko, so much good stuff. So if you're a Sprint or T-Mobile customer, you probably also qualify for this offer. So give them a call, get Apple TV Plus for a year, put some joyful content in your ears. You won't regret it. Last story. This one just warmed my heart. I'm just so excited to share it with you. In addition to my business and writing work, I'm also a biomimicry practitioner. Biomimicry, very simply described, is design inspired by nature. One of my favorite creatures in nature, the hummingbird. My absolute favorite birds. As soon as I get cleared by my doctor to get another tattoo, I'm getting a hummingbird. The site Atmos put up a story about hummingbirds on their Insta, and I had to share it with all of you. Willow is their editor-in-chief and explains that hummingbirds evolved the ability to hover because some of the flowers that they need to nourish themselves are so delicate that even a bird as small as a hummingbird would damage the flowers if they landed on them. So hovering is a way for the hummingbirds to get the nectar without harming the flowers. How sweet is that gentleness? Also, we know hummingbirds as having insane amounts of energy. They need it to hover, which is one of the most energy intensive actions in the animal world. Now, to compensate for all of that hard work that they do hovering, they also are champions of rest. REST. At night, they drop their body temperatures to near hypothermic levels to use as little energy as possible. Rather than just sleeping every night, they essentially go into a mini hibernation. How cool is that? And I've got to read this quote from Willow because they explain so beautifully what we have to learn from hummingbirds. So here goes. Willow says, "We have a lot to learn from our feathered friends about living lightly. We too must be mindful of our energy. To be a human living through such strenuous times takes a lot. We must ensure that we're not always holding on to crisis, as the late Toni Morrison put it, but also seeking out sweetness from the sources we have found over time. And when everything around us seems impossible to understand, we can remember our ability to navigate the world with kindness, to be gentle with ourselves, each other, and the earth, for all the while we hover here." That quote, I just started sobbing when I read it because it is just so beautifully and eloquently and kindly put. So thank you, hummingbirds, for showing us the way. That's this week's installment of Joyful News. I hope these stories brought a smile to your face and put a song in your heart. I'll be back in 2 weeks on Tuesday, May 31st, with another episode of Joyful News. And until then, I hope you find joy, I hope you make joy, and I hope you share it with every person you meet. You can find links to all of these stories and a transcript of this episode at kristaavanpato.com/joyproject.